Brisbane City Council is committed to keeping Brisbane clean, green and sustainable by composting to reduce the amount of organic waste ending up in landfill. Composting is nature's way of recycling food and garden waste. It's simple and cost-effective, and children will love to help. This video will take you through the process of selecting a compost bin, choosing a location and getting started. You will also learn how to maintain and use your compost. The first step is selecting your compost bins. There are many different types of compost bins, but the ones that work best in early learning centres are the plastic enclosed bins. To compost effectively, you will need 2 bins. Once the first bin becomes full, you will start using the second, leaving the first to continue to break down. The compost bins need to be set up in a flat, well-drained, sunny position, away from where children are playing. It's a good idea to attach some Aerate wire underneath the bottom of the bins to avoid the possibility of attracting rodents. Cut the Aerate wire slightly larger than the bottom of the bin and attach to the bin using bulldog clips. Clips can easily be removed when you want to use your finished compost. You've got your bins, you've put them in place, and now it's time to get started. Composting is actually not that different to cooking. You have some key ingredients, you mix them up, and you end up with a great product. The key ingredients for compost are classified into greens or browns. Nitrogen-rich products, or greens, are things like fruit and vegetable scraps, green prunings, fresh mowed grass, tea leaves, coffee grounds, and manure from chickens, cows, or horses. Carbon-rich products, or browns, are dry things like dried leaves, dried grass clippings, small twigs, and shredded paper. It's a good idea to place a heap of these brown materials beside your compost bin to throw on top of your nitrogen-rich food scraps. The other 2 critical ingredients are air and water. The items to avoid placing in your bin include meat scraps, dog and cat droppings, dairy products, plastic, and weeds that you don't want to sprout again in your garden. When you first set up your compost bin, fill it up so that it's at least 1/3 to 1/2 full, starting with a 5 to 10 centimetre layer of small twigs for aeration and drainage. On top of this, add a layer of soil or finished compost to add microorganisms to speed up the process of decomposition. Other activating materials include comfrey leaves, cow, horse or chicken manure, coffee grounds, mature compost, garden soil or worm juice. Next, add alternating layers of brown and green materials. Each layer should be about 5 to 10 centimetres thick. Sprinkle layers with water to keep the heap moist. Within a day or 2, you'll be able to feel the heat within the bin from the decomposition process. Continue to add materials on a regular basis, making sure that there's a good balance of greens and browns throughout the bin. Add air to your compost bin by turning the materials regularly, using a compost screw, garden fork, or even by sticking a stake into your compost and giving it a wiggle. The more you aerate the compost, the faster your compost will break down. If at any stage your compost becomes smelly, add some carbon-rich material and aerate the heap by turning. If it is dry and slow to break down, add water, activating ingredients such as comfrey leaves or manure, and turn more regularly. Compost is ready when it looks like dark, rich soil. You can use it as potting mix, soil enhancer, or simply as mulch for your garden. Visit brisbane.qld.gov.au for information about Council's free compost and worm farming workshops. Happy composting!